Hey all you yuckers and yummers out there, my name's Courtney.
And I'm Carlito.
And if you enjoy listening to Newlyweds Argue, then this podcast is for you.
Well, more specifically, we'll be discussing movies, books, or certain comics that one enjoys and tries to introduce the other to it.
And then find out the verdict of whether they yuck it or yum it.
You can listen to us currently on Anchor.fm and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hope you have fun listening to our podcast, Don't Yuck My Yum.
Welcome back, everybody, to Don't Yuck My Yum, the podcast where we make each other watch stuff and we hate it or we love it, yuck it or yum it. With me, as always, is the other host of the show with the most.
Yeah, Courtney Gilchrist here.
Yeah.
What up? What?
How's it going?
Going well.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on with us, babe?
I'm sore. That's what I am.
Yeah, this guy's been getting back into the gym.
Ugh.
Y'all know. They know.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Those first couple of days when you go back to the gym, and when you seriously go back to the gym, there's some people that just go in there and they pick up one barbell and they just go, I'm done. Yeah. If you actually go in there and work out, those first couple of days you feel like absolute crap.
Yeah.
I mean, not absolute crap,
but every movement is painful.
You feel sore and you don't really sleep that well because you wake up and you're sore and you're not sure, should I take some? Should I take an ibuprofen? I don't know. I've been trying not to. I just try not to just rely on pills unless I get, a headache or something. That's really bad. But, yeah, today I did no one cares about this, but today I did shoulders and back. And yesterday I did chest. So it's basically, my whole upper body, the whole upper part of my body just hurts.
So if you ever just slightly lift your arms, you're just like, ooh. Oh,
no, you saw it yesterday. I went to pick up my food out of the microwave and I was just like, and that was after I'd already worked out. It wasn't like I had because usually sometimes you don't feel sore right away, but it was immediately. I was just
you must have hit it hard.
I did. I'm not messing around this time.
Yeah.
Well, since we got more time on our hands now, I just figured I'm going to get back into it. And I've cut out sugar.
Yeah, we've cut out sugar and alcohol and dairy for the most part. We'll have butter.
Yeah.
And
dairy's more of a precaution just because
because your bodies don't agree with dairy.
No. I'm pretty, well, you said that.
Yeah.
Everyone's pretty much lactose intolerant.
I think everybody has something. Everybody has a little bit of lactose intolerance in them. Because let's be honest, if you eat a ton of ice cream or cheese, you don't feel good afterwards.
No, you're. I don't know what it is. It's almost like all the synapses in your body are just firing, and you feel like crap.
Your brain, the synapses in your brain.
Yeah, it's just and every nerve in your body is just jittery, and it feels sickly, Yeah. It's after you chug a whole 2 glasses of milk and you're just ugh.
And I never liked milk growing up.
I love milk.
I was always a chocolate milk girl, but other than that, I did not like milk.
I love chocolate milk and I love regular milk.
And y'all who love strawberry milk are freaks.
I like strawberry milk too.
You're a freak.
I don't like it as much, but see, it did it. We're trying to improve. We're trying to fix my laptop so it doesn't turn off on us, but it just keeps doing it. I don't
understand Max.
I don't know. But, yeah. So that's been going on with me.
Yeah, we've been getting into the eating right and the working out because we just got back from a week vacation in San Diego. So where we ate everything and anything. So we're okay, time to hit it.
That's pretty much how we look at our vacations. We're what's the best food we can find?
We're foodies.
We couldn't get the ostrich egg.
Oh, yeah.
So if anyone who probably has already heard of this, look it up. Just look up ostrich egg on YouTube, and I'm sure it'll pop up. There's this restaurant in the
Just ostrich egg?
Yeah, just look that up, and this will probably pop up. It's the Gaslamp District of San Diego, and there's this restaurant called Provisional Kitchen, and they serve ostrich eggs. And they're only open certain times of the week, so many hours of the day, and they're one of these fancy places, whatever.
Fancy schmancy.
Fancy schmancy, whatever. So, Anyway, I make a reservation like 3 weeks out because we plan to go to San Diego, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting this ostrich egg. Like, I want to do this.
I call. His birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday weekend. And then I call 2 weeks out, and I talked to the manager. Like, it wasn't like I asked to speak to the manager. That was just who picked up.
Yeah.
And I talked to her and said, oh, we have reservations there. You guys can have ostrich eggs. And I told her when it was. It was like, and she saw it was like on a Friday morning. Yeah. And she was like, oh, yeah, we'll reserve it for you if we have it.
If we have it.
Fine. So we get there, and, after the waiter comes back a couple of times, I ask, hey, look, do you guys have the ostrich eggs? And he comes back after talking to the manager and says, no, we're not getting them till Saturday night.
Yeah.
So I would have been fine, say, if they just didn't get any. But the fact that they weren't going to get them till Saturday night, and they didn't let us know. This is such first world problems, but they just didn't let us know.
I know.
And I called 2 weeks in advance to try to get the freaking egg.
You called twice. Like, we talked to these people twice about it. And you think they would know their schedule of when they get the ostrich eggs.
Well, I think it may have been different because it was Easter weekend. So they may have been saving them for Easter Sunday and all that. So, fine.
But if they knew that, like, oh, if you want to just, push your reservation 2 more days.
Right. Because it was still 2 weeks out.
You could have an ostrich egg.
They probably had availability. Whatever. It's fine. I didn't let it ruin my weekend.
We're not upset. We're not bitter about it, but...
No.
Yeah, maybe it was for the best because it could feed like 4 people. So if it was just the 2 of us.
It was just more of the idea of eating an ostrich egg.
Yeah, because it was going to be like...
Yeah.
What?
Again, just look it up online. I'm sure there's a video of Gordon Ramsay cooking one. It's pretty spectacular.
When it comes out of that egg, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
They have to yolk is never ending.
And you either have to use a saw or like a tiny hammer. To crack into it. Yeah. So it was fine. Yeah. I didn't get the egg. I wasn't butthurt at all. The breakfast itself was pretty lackluster. But I don't know if anyone from Provisional Kitchen listens to this, but whatever. Y'all, I think y'all are overrated. I think all y'all got is the ostrich egg, and it's fine. The food took like why am I complaining about this? Why?
Clearly, he's so over it. It doesn't bother him anymore.
Well, I think just the fact that we went to like other restaurants and stuff that weren't as fancy schmancy, and it was just so much better.
Well, that's
a lesson learned.
That's it, though. Like, that's the thing. You don't need to go to fancy 5-star restaurants to have good food. If anything, it's the opposite.
Right.
Go to the hole in the walls. Go to, the mom and pop place where the quality is prime.
Yeah. They're not about the flair or the prices. Yeah. It's just about the food.
Yeah. If they have passion for the food, then it's going to be good.
It's going to be a good Vietnamese restaurant is if you go in and there's nothing on the walls. It's just bare. Yeah. And the menu is just crappy cell phone pictures of the food. It's not like all this edited stuff, and it's just like a paper menu. Yeah. And the people come up to your table and they're like, what do you want? This? Cool.
Or that's
when you know it's good.
Yeah, they're from that place. That's the language they speak. Then you're like, okay, they know what they're talking about.
Exactly. So, yeah, look for the hole-in-the-wall places. Don't go to the fancy restaurants and waste your money on just underwhelming food and experiences. It's whatever.
That's our tip.
Yeah.
That's our tip for today's podcast. And then, yeah, I know, baby. Don't worry. Next time.
But, yeah, so we had our fun in San Diego.
We had our fun.
Now it's
time to get back to business.
I really do. It's time. It's been a while since I've worked out. But...
Well, it's been a rough year.
It was a rough... Yeah, I think everyone had a rough year. There's so many... There's, like, YouTubers I, like, look at, and, like, I see their... Like, they pop up after a while. I'm like, man, they don't look good. I just think the year is just...
The year is taking a toll on everybody.
Man, so...
Yeah, going into that, we had made the joke of, couples, they're either going to make babies or get divorced. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of like how...
And they mostly got divorced.
No, I'm kidding. Well, I don't know, because I think it's the opposite for me.
More people may.
Because I think lately all I see is, we're having a baby. Right. There's another baby coming. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'd rather it be that than people splitting.
And people are, they're more rather good. They're going to post about, like, having a baby than having a divorce.
That's true.
They're like, we're getting divorced.
We couldn't stand each other another minute.
Hashtag divorce. Hashtag can't stand each other.
Hashtag 2022.
Hashtag who gets what. Anyway. So we're trying to get back into shape, and I'm trying to be looking like Patrick Swayze.
Ooh, speaking of Patrick Swayze.
Again.
Ooh, he's a, like I said, he's
sexier this time.
He's a gem, and
he is.
And I just love his movies, and I wish
I thought you said
more.
Movies first.
I love his boobers. Boobers. I love the boobers. It's gonna take a bubble bar.
His Patrick boobers.
His Patrick bubble boobers.
Oh no.
No.
It's already going off the rails.
He has no boobies. He doesn't. He has man pecs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got all the pecs everywhere. His whole body's just made up of pecs and muscle. Glistening skin, probably.
Probably.
Even in that test footage they showed, he was like he was even glistening.
Well,
like,
he was sweaty. Because he's dancing. Because he's dirty dancing.
He's dirty dancing.
What?
This is what we did for this episode.
Yes.
I mean, we watched the movie. We didn't dirty dance for the episode. We watched.
No, we tried. We didn't do well.
No. I'd say it was a fair shot. we would have to put we did it to no music. So.
Yeah, we did to know, and we might have needed some alcohol.
Yeah, which we can't have anymore. I mean, we can, but then we would be like letting ourselves down. Yeah. And now we just said on here we're not doing it, so
I know. So they're gonna keep us accountable now.
Yeah.
All right. Don't let us drink, you guys.
Don't.
But yeah, so this podcast, this episode is all about Dirty Dancing, which I know if you put 100 people in a room and ask them, okay, everyone, raise your hand who has seen Dirty Dancing. I'm pretty sure like 98% of those people would have been like, oh yeah.
And I would have been the 2%.
And you would have been the 2%.
Because I've never seen Dirty Dancing.
Until now.
I don't know why I never watched it. I think, honestly, what they were talking about in that other episode thing we watched, the movies that made us. They said like, oh, it's a girly movie. That's probably why I didn't watch it growing up.
Yeah. Well, it was apparently the first time they released it was geared towards teenagers. And then they're like, oh, no, there's more. It's not just your teeny bopper.
It's not, no. I mean, well...
No, definitely not.
There's a lot of stuff in it where I'm like, I can't believe this is in this. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so this was your pick.
This was my pick. So
I guess I'll say I yummed it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
How could you not?
I know. It's just like...
How could you not?
It was very enjoyable. And I think just watching anything with Patrick Swayze in it, even if it's bad...
Yeah.
You can't help but just, love it because he's great. I can give a description of the movie if you want.
Yeah, for those, I mean, I'm sure you all know, but just for a refresher, why don't you tell us about what Dirty Dancing is about, babe?
Okay, so there's this girl, played by Jennifer Grey.
Yeah.
Her name is Baby. Everyone calls her Baby.
That's her nickname, yes.
Yes. And she goes to this place called the Catskills, which I guess is like this resort in New England somewhere.
I think so, yeah.
Never heard of this place.
Me neither. But it's not the first time I've heard of the Catskills.
Okay. I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So her family goes there, and while they're there, she kind of gets involved with like what she learns about. She learns about dirty dancing because Patrick Swayze, he's kind of like the dance instructor, but he's also like hired to go to say like after dinner dances at like the country club building and gets people to dance and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
his job's very vague. He kind of just does like whatever dancing thing he's
the
done.
Entertainment.
Right, he's the entertainment. So anyway, Patrick Swayze's partner girl, she ends up getting Penny, thank you. Penny gets pregnant and she wants to get an abortion. So, I know, I was shocked. I was like, whoa, okay, this is in this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So anyway, Baby decides to help out, and this is kind of how she gets involved with Patrick Swayze and learns how to dirty dance and all this stuff.
Yeah, but there's so much more.
Exactly. I figure we'll unpack it. I don't need to explain the whole plot.
No. I know. Just the general plot.
Yeah. So, but I think it's good to know up front that, like, have whatever opinion you have on abortion, but, like, there is abortion in this movie. So,
Right.
just go into it knowing that. But again, my issues with that, I don't really have any issues with it. I think woman's choice, it's her own body. But, it's just letting you guys know for anyone who, I guess, is squeamish about that stuff. Because there is a little bit of blood.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't really see it, though.
No, you don't.
You don't see anything. You see the aftermath of it. Poor Penny.
Oh, it's horrible.
I know.
But, yeah. This movie was great. I loved the actors in it.
They did well.
There were so many, like, this guy's in this guy's in
I know.
this movie.
Well, yeah, you first start off with them driving to the Catskills, and then you see who her dad is.
It's Lenny from Law and Order. What's the guy's name?
His real name is, I'll pull it up here, Jerry Orbach.
Jerry Orbach, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard that before, but I always forget. But yeah, Jerry Orbach, who most of you probably know. If y'all watched Law and Order when you were kids with your parents, he was the one detective dude in Law and Order.
Yeah.
And he was badass.
From 1991 to 2004.
Wow. He did a lot of Law and Order.
And also, fun fact, he is the voice of Lumiere in Beauty and the Beast.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah.
I forgot, but I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big like musical guy too, I believe.
Yeah, he's a dashing dude.
He is. He's got like, I don't know, he's just got like that debonair look.
He does,
Yeah.
And it takes place in the 60s, so he fits that look very well, I would say.
Yeah. But he's in this, and Newman's in this. Newman from Seinfeld is the first time you see him, he just has a megaphone in his hand. He's just shouting at people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Newman's in this movie.
You hear his voice before you see his face,
right?
And then you automatically know, oh, that's Newman, just from his voice.
No. You go, Newman.
Yeah, Wayne Knight.
Of course, he's in Dirty Dancing.
Yep. He's not a big role by any means. He's just like a staff member of the Catskills and just kind of announcing events going on.
I mean, I was secretly hoping that he was going to be doing some Dirty Dancing at some point. Yeah. But unfortunately, you don't get Newman Dirty Dancing. So.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, probably. No, I would have liked to have seen that. But yeah.
Yeah, so they show up, and it's kind of like, it's very much about class. Like, the poor people are the dirty dancers is what they kind of allude to. They're not really, like the lower class, the middle class, and the upper class.
Yeah, they're the ones who have to like constantly like be grinding. Ironically, but like, what I mean, like working, like grinding, like constantly trying to find work and job and all this stuff just to make ends meet. And then you got everyone who comes to the country club, the Catskills, they're probably millionaires.
Yeah, very wealthy. Like her dad's a doctor, so they're not in want. Yeah.
And so the idea of like where you stand in society, because it's like a lot of the guys who hit on Baby and work at like their waiters is like their summertime job away from medical school.
I would say that's kind of somewhat middle class because they still need a job. They're paying for school or for their student loans, but yeah.
But they're there to like schmooze up with all the rich people who come and try to like barter money out of them to like go to medical school and stuff. Then you have guys like Patrick Swayze, whose name in the movie is amazing.
Johnny Castle.
I love these names. That's great. I'm not even going to make a joke about how American that name is. It's more like an action star.
Yeah.
Like Johnny Castle.
Yep.
But it said it's Johnny Castle, the dancing man.
The dancing man.
But him and his crew, they kind of represent, like you said, the lower class. His family, he comes from like a blue collar family, and the only other job that's apparently waiting for him that his dad always says, like, you come do this, is like
the union. I think it was something like plumbing or something.
And I heard like plumbing, windows, basically all blue collar type work.
Manual labor.
But he's too pretty to do that stuff. Can you imagine Patrick Swayze coming to your house being like, I'm here to fix your toilet?
I think like, my toilet would be constantly broken.
Oh no. It's like, well, you completely moved it out of the floor. Yeah, I know. It's going to take a while for you. You want a lemonade?
Yeah, I know. It's always lemonade, isn't it?
It's always lemonade or iced
Fresh
tea.
squeezed lemonade.
Yeah.
Lemonade, lemonade, like grandma made.
Is that what's that from?
That's really from the baseball park.
Oh yeah, I had the guy from the the Pittsburgh Pirates Stadium. Mm-hmm. There's this guy. He would go lemonade, lemonade. That's how he would sound.
That's all.
Yeah.
Lame.
No, that guy was awesome.
No,
it was he was so awesome. I was so happy to see him every time. He was this older guy, and he would just go lemonade,
lemonade.
Yeah, he was great.
No, my guy is better.
No, he's not.
Yeah, no, he was at the Diamondbacks.
I'm sorry. Are you competing lemonade guys with
Yes.
me? They're all on equal terms.
No, he was for the Diamondbacks, and he's this African American guy, and he'd be like, lemonade, lemonade, like grandma made.
That is pretty good.
Like grandma made.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I think if you got those guys together, they would make a great podcast about lemonade. How do you make your lemonade? Anyway, Dirty Dancing. But yeah, so how Baby kind of like gets involved with them and stuff. She carries a watermelon, which they kind of poke fun of.
She's like not happy. She's like stuck in this, stuffy, same old routine of whatever they're doing, like silly dances. That's like the cha-cha, whatever.
The cha-cha, yeah, because there's like free dance lessons and all this stuff.
Yeah, so she's like, and being hit on by stupid guys, and then especially like the owner's grandson, who's just a quack.
Yeah, who is that guy?
He thinks he's a big deal, but he's not.
I'm sorry, but every time that dude talked, like he's like at one point he says something to he's like, baby, there's like certain things that you see that you have to ignore. He says something like that.
No,
or there's
he's like, there's just certain things that you see that you don't want to see. Or something
like, who are
stupid.
You? I'm sorry, Mr. Pamper Boy. Like, what do you see?
He thinks he's all the big.
Oh, he thinks he's hot stuff. He thinks he's Henry Hill from Goodfellas. Like, I'm sorry, no, bro.
He thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread.
Okay.
But yeah, so she's just like, okay, gag me with a spoon, and then I'm going to kind of wander. And so, because she then hears like the music coming from the staff quarters.
Yes.
So she's like, well, this sounds more fun. What's going on over here? So then she runs into Johnny's cousin, which I don't remember his character's name, but it's kind of unimportant.
We don't need to remember his name.
He's holding like 3 long watermelons. And
very this weird, distinct looking watermelon. I think it was like, we got to find the easiest watermelons to carry in 3s.
Yeah. And she's all like, oh, here, let me help you. And he's like, oh, you shouldn't be here. You go back to playing tic-tac-toe or whatever it is.
Tic-tac-toe, yeah. So, yeah, she carries a watermelon.
Yeah, and then enters the world of Dirty Dancing.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just like, whoa.
Because I honestly had no idea, like, what was the Dirty Dancing. Like, I honestly didn't know. I had seen, like, clips from the movie, and I was like, oh, it doesn't look that dirty. You
probably saw, like, the clips of them doing the stage dancing, which is, like, just actual competitive dancing.
Yeah, like, I think I saw that stuff. So I was like, oh, that's not too bad. But then, yeah, they go into this room, and people are just, I mean, you want to talk about, like when we went to high school, it was like, people were like, oh, them kids out there grinding. I'm like, y'all, like that's got nothing. One, it's got so much better. There's so much more like groove to it.
Yeah, it's not literally just standing there and
you got to do it in a basement. Like, you got to do it away from prying eyes kind of thing.
Yeah, it's literally just the girls bent over shaking their booty. But it's not dancing. And I never thought it was dancing. I always thought they looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this looked actually more like dancing. Mm-hmm. Which it was dancing.
Well, then we watched so we also watched the first episode of the thing on Netflix. It's called The Movies That Made Us. Mm-hmm. And the first episode's about Dirty Dancing. So we thought we'd watch that as well to kind of learn some. Because it was there.
The scenes.
Yeah, we were like, it's there. We might as well watch it. And the choreographer is like talking about like how it's like, you're telling a story with your body and all this stuff with the other person.
There's an energy, there's a rhythm that you're connecting to that other person, and you're really close, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, it is more like a story.
And it's like the music that was played, like that 60s rock style music. It was like that kind of music at the time was probably considered risque.
Right.
You know, like how like when Elvis came out, everyone like had heart attacks and stuff.
Pelvic thrusting.
Yeah, like what is this? The same thing here.
Yeah.
So like the music went along with it. Interestingly enough, about the music too. Mm-hmm. About like the
the music the writer
mm-hmm.
wanted. She had specific songs that she wanted for these scenes, and she wouldn't settle for anything but.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this whole process of getting the right guy to make that happen.
And the fact that like this was a very low budget movie, and licensing songs for a movie is very expensive.
Very expensive.
So they ended up, how did they do it? They somehow stumbled upon Jimmy Iovine. I think that's how you say his name.
I don't know.
That guy.
Yeah.
He's produced a lot of he helped produce like a lot of like famous people's music and stuff. But he was the guy who ended up helping them get the rights to all the songs that they needed for that movie.
Yeah, big deal.
And the writer, she was the original Baby. She went by Baby when she was younger.
Yeah, a lot of the main things about Jennifer Grey's character was reflected off of the writers. Like, she was called Baby until she was well into her 20s. Her father was a doctor. She went to the Catskills with her family growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a lot of those main things about Baby's character came from her, but the rest kind of was not so much her story.
Yeah, like obviously the thing about Johnny Castle, the abortion, all that stuff, that was all made up for the story. But yeah, it was primarily based off of like her experiences Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, which apparently she was very good at it.
That she showed Patrick Swayze, the writer.
Yeah.
And they had to like pry her away from him.
Understandably so.
Yeah. They were like, all right, calm down.
All right, we get it. We see it. He's got it.
I think he's got it. Yeah. But, so...
So were you surprised by, like, the story? Like, it wasn't just like, this pining girl for this guy, blah, blah, blah.
Pretty much, yeah. I went into it thinking, like, okay, this is just going to be, like, the girl's just going to, like, fall in love with Johnny Castle and all this stuff, which she does, but there's more to it than that. It's, they kind of come to this connection over this big thing that's, like, happens with his friend, and, they kind of... And she helps him because how does it happen? It's like the guy.
So Penny is the female dancer lead. Johnny's like the male dancer lead. Yeah. Their main job is to entertain and make the guests happy and stuff like that. Penny gets into trouble. She finds out she's pregnant from one of the waiters, Robbie. Robbie is a douche canoe who is trying to get with her sister.
Baby sister.
Yeah. Which her sister is not so bright, so you can't really blame the girl.
No, and she's not a good singer.
And she's not really a good singer, but that's besides the point. And then, so Johnny has known her since they were kids. They're like brother and sister.
Right.
So Baby runs across Penny crying in the kitchen, and figures out what's going on, that she's pregnant and that she needs help, and that there's this guy doctor that's going to be in the area that she can get an abortion from, but it's like $250.
Yeah.
So Baby, being the kind person that she is and she wants to help, she asks her dad to loan her the money so that she can have this procedure.
Mm-hmm. And him being the great guy that he is, old Lenny.
Yeah, he trusts his daughter, and he's like, okay,
Jerry Orbach, yeah.
I'll get, if this is important, I'll give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, they have to do a show at like a neighboring hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
And do like a dance show on the same night that she can get the operation. That's the only night she can do it. So,
in order to help out, Baby decides to step in. Because she's done a little bit of Dirty Dancing. She did it that night a little with Johnny Castle.
Just a little bit.
She seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah, but this wasn't Dirty Dancing. This is going to be like actual dancing.
Actual professional dancing. So, yeah. So Johnny Castle has to basically teach her how to dance. This very difficult, like all the steps and everything. And so that's kind of how their relationship starts.
Yeah, that's kind of how the relationship begins, is like her helping out, and then it's kind of like a montage of him, teaching her learning, growing, them, kind of getting a little heated, get little arguments.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up was like how authentic that was, because apparently the background drama is this. So Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey had worked on a movie prior to this called Red Dawn, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. You actually haven't seen the original Red Dawn. You've seen the new poopy one.
Yeah.
The new one, the old one still isn't like great, but it's obviously far superior. But apparently they had a beef on the set. Patrick Swayze is a very macho guy. Jennifer Grey is a little, she's a more sensitive, like actress girl.
Well, who knows? No one really knows what happened. No one knows what went down. But something happened on the set of Red Dawn that caused them to not get along.
No, they had very conflicting personalities and just butted heads, and who knows what was said. So they never really wanted to work with each other again. Well, of course, here comes along doing Dirty Dancing. They're both the main leads, which Jennifer Grey was adamant about. She didn't want to work with Patrick Swayze. Mm-hmm. And I guess they had a moment where I think before they started shooting, they went into a room and they like hashed it out for like a half hour, and they both came out, their eyes were red from crying. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's fine. But I think there was probably still some tension. And again, they still had budding personalities. So while Johnny Castle's teaching Baby how to dance, it's very authentic to their actual relationship.
Yeah, because pretty much Patrick was teaching Jennifer how to dance.
And she didn't know how to dance. That was her thing. The people picked her to play Baby because they were like, oh, that's her. Like, that's who needs to play her. But she didn't know how to dance. But then Patrick Swayze did know how to dance. So they figure, well, then as Johnny Castle is teaching Baby to dance, so is Patrick Swayze teaching Jennifer Grey how to dance.
Yeah, so they pretty much just captured that. So a lot of these moments are genuine, like Patrick getting frustrated at Jennifer, and then her getting annoyed with him,
and snapping at him,
mm-hmm. And then the part where they, he's trying to do this sensual, serious part
where he glides the back of his hand down like her arm side, and her side,
and she keeps cracking up. Well, apparently this was like being filmed at like the middle of the night. Everyone's tired. They're just wanting to get this shot, and she's hungry and she's tired, so she just keeps getting slap happy.
Yeah,
and just laughing, and he's getting frustrated. And apparently that was like that was real. That was legitimate. Mm-hmm. And the director was like, just keep that. That's perfect.
Yeah, he was like, just keep the cameras rolling.
Yeah, just keep it rolling.
Which they were like, I think that solidified their confidence in that director.
Mm-hmm. Because he could pick out these genuine moments that made the film good.
Yeah. His name escapes me at the moment, but he apparently in the pitch meeting when the producers and the writers, all that, brought him in to to be the director, and they asked him like, oh, what's your view on Dirty Dancing? How do you...
Emil
Ardolino. Mm-hmm. Emil Ardolino, that guy. Yeah, and apparently like when the producers and the writers asked him like in this room of the executives for the film studio who was doing the movie, like, well, how do you feel about the script or the story? And he just choked. He didn't say anything.
I know, that was so shocking to me. I'm like, how did they go with it if that guy didn't say a word?
I think because they were like, we can't get anyone else. That's probably the best we can get.
Yeah.
Again, the guy ended up being a brilliant director for the movie, but probably at the time, it's like we're not going to get Spielberg. We're not going to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not going to get Mel Brooks or anyone like that. This is who we can get, and that's fine. His only prior credits up to that point, he had directed a documentary, which won an Oscar.
Was it was a documentary or it was a short film? I think it was a short film.
I think it was both. It was like a short documentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, so again, just a lot of those moments in the movie with Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, it's all very authentic.
So I think that's how you fall in love with these characters, is because it feels so genuine and real.
Because it was Patrick Swayze's wife even said, turn that rage into because it's easy. You can make rage look like passion.
Yeah, it's easy to turn anger and hate into look like passion. And they always say there's a fine line between hate and love.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what the two actors fed off of, and that's just what made their performances so good. Mm-hmm. Can I just say the moment that got to me was when I think it gets to everybody is when Baby goes and
confronts her father.
Yeah. Well, okay, cool. Well, because before then, because what happens is Johnny Castle, they're going to fire Johnny Castle because they think, oh, he stole this guy's wallet.
Right.
And they said he doesn't have a good alibi. And so Baby has to fess up and say, no, I know Johnny didn't steal this guy's wallet because
he was with me.
Yeah, I was with him all night, and he has to confess in front of the guy who runs the country club and her father at breakfast. Like, it was me. I was with him all night. Mm-hmm. But it's the real already. Her dad doesn't like Johnny Castle, so it's just like she says it, and then it's just a hard cut to just Jerry Orbach sitting out by the gazebo, staring out the lake, just so despairingly, so sad. But just the cut is so.
It's too harsh, yeah.
It's too harsh, and it's kind of funny. Like, it's a very serious moment, but you just can't help but laugh because it's just him just, oh, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
But then it gets made up for it because then Baby goes and talks to him, and she starts crying, and then you see, like, he starts crying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my gosh. He probably was actually crying, too.
It seemed like it.
Yeah, it seemed like he actually was getting upset because I bet he has a daughter, so I bet he was, like, channeling that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think what else I liked about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have anything you want to say? I feel like I'm doing something.
No, it's okay.
I was just going to talk about the music.
Yeah.
Well, just the music's great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, all the music choices are awesome. But I think my only issue with the movie itself, I'd say, would be because the movie was made in the 80s. So it definitely has that 80s look about it. Mm-hmm. And it's got, the quintessential 80s actors. Like, everyone knows Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey. Like, they were big in the 80s. And it just has that look to it. But the movie takes place in the 60s. And so there's 60s music in it for the time. But then there's just, like, these moments where they play these 80s songs. And it kind of took me out of the story for a little bit. Just because I was like, I feel like if it was, you want to stick with the 60s theme, you know what I mean, with the music. Mm-hmm. So I just thought it was kind of weird that they stuck in some 80s songs. Like, I get it. It's like you have to kind of sell the soundtrack a bit, so you probably need newer music.
Yeah.
But again, I just think that was just the one thing where I was like, oh, that's kind of weird.
But then Patrick got his own song in there.
Yeah. So apparently, like, because
She's like the wind.
She's like the wind. Look up, guys, everyone look up Patrick Swayze's song, She's Like the Wind. It's amazing.
It will be stuck in your head.
It's so cheesy.
It's the cheesiest of cheese balls, but it's so fantastic at the same time.
But I love it because it's Patrick Swayze, and I'm like, look at him go.
And he's singing.
He's singing. Good for him.
He did good.
He did really good.
He sounded good.
Because I guess that was the first song they had for the movie before they could get the licensing.
Well, because Patrick was like, well, I have a song. Like, I know we're having issues with the soundtrack, but...
Like, you could use this song. And I'm glad it wasn't like they found more music and they were like, oh, we don't have to use Patrick's song. Like, I'm glad they still used it.
Yeah, I'm glad they kept it.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. I think they knew. It's like, we have to. It's like, it's Patrick Swayze. He's the star of this movie. And he wrote a song for the... Well, he didn't write the song for the movie, but he had the song.
It fit the movie well.
It fit the... Yeah. So and he probably knew that. He was probably like, oh, this might work.
He's like, yeah, this would be perfect.
Mm-hmm. So that was just great. I love it. She's like the wind.
Yeah, the lyrics are corny, cheesy. But it's good stuff.
Yeah. Trying to think if I have anything else to say. Is there any other stuff you want to talk about, babe?
I think I like that there was more to it than just the title. Like, okay, the title's Dirty Dancing, but...
Well, a lot of people at the time, I think, were like,
they're like, it's an adult film.
Yeah, everyone thought it was like a porno. Which it wasn't.
Even Patrick was like, could we please change the title?
Yeah.
He's like, everyone's going to think we're making a porn.
Yeah.
A porno. Or they're like, no, we can't.
But they, I guess on the set, like for everyone else involved. Like
they just called it dancing.
Yeah, they just called it dancing. Like,
so that people wouldn't be offended or not, or quit or something.
Right. So but then of course the title itself was, like when the writer pitched the story to the original producer, like, well, no, she started talking to the story. She was like, oh, I'm writing this script about going to the Catskills with these two girls.
It was like about two sisters and all that. It wasn't exactly what it came out to be, but then, the producer heard the word Dirty Dancing, and she's like, stop. That's the title.
That's the $1 million title right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked how in the that behind the scenes thing. Like, you know, they interview a lot of the people. Obviously, like Jennifer Grey doesn't show up, and no Patrick Swayze because he passed away. A lot of people passed away who were in this movie.
Yeah.
Jerry Orbach's gone. Patrick Swayze, the director. Emil
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Don't hurt yourself. Yeah, he passed away from AIDS not like a few years after this came out. Well, the guy who played Robbie,
Yeah.
he was kind of the dickhead character dude who gets Penny pregnant, but he passed away.
He did.
Like only like 4 years after this movie came out. Is that him? Matt Cantor?
Yeah, he's only 32. He died in 1991.
Oh. Doesn't say.
It does, yeah.
I'm gonna go down, I bet you. Maybe not.
He died of an injection of undiluted heroin while writing an article on New York City's Lower East Side, an addiction for the Village Voice. Oh my gosh.
I figured it was drug related. I'm like, he looks way too healthy to be dead that early. My gosh.
Undiluted, yeah, so it was a heroin overdose.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeesh.
All right. Well, yeah, there was just
I think it was
so
just
much.
A good story, you know, it was fun, it was entertaining, it had heart, you know.
Had a lot more heart, than I thought. There was a lot more to it.
Yeah.
Than just, it's just a dirty dance.
Yeah, it's just about girl meets boy
and sexy dancing.
And sexy dancing.
Yeah, there was, again, all this thing about class and, like, you know, because after Baby tells her dad, like, hey, I'm with Johnny, like, he's my guy.
Yeah.
Johnny, like, kind of confronts him and is just like, what does he say?
Really was how, you know, she confessed of being with Johnny.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, we're together kind of thing. And then, you know, Johnny tries to go to her dad and be like, listen, you know, she's a great girl. And I think he was trying to just, I don't know.
Like, probably just say, like, look, I'm not corrupting your daughter.
I'm not who you think I am.
I'm not taking advantage of her.
He's really a good guy. He's just, you know, the resources that he has, he can only do so much.
Right.
And so, obviously, the dad gets defensive. He's like, you don't know me. You don't know my daughter. You like, stay away kind of thing. And then, obviously, everything that goes down with the wallets. Like, even though he was cleared, he still had to leave, got fired because of her, right? Because they, you know, obviously got together.
Yeah, because who...
What?
We'll get to that, but, like, yeah, even though they know he didn't steal the wallet, he still has to, like, take the fall for it. They fire him, and I think it was, because he was with Baby. I think the dad was like, yeah, he's got to go.
Oh, you think the dad's made him go?
I think so. I think he probably had a hand in it, but obviously that turned around because, I wanted to talk about who actually stole the wallet.
Oh.
I was like, oh, really? Like, that's
the Schumachers.
The Schumachers.
The Schumachers was this cute little old couple who were secretly thieves.
They're pickpocketers.
They're little pickpocketers. They're wanted in like 3 states.
Wow. That totally took me by surprise.
I know, because
I was like, my head spun around.
And
when
earlier
they said that.
scene, you know, you see the old lady come out a door and drops her purse, and all these wallets come out, and you're like, why does this old lady have a ton of wallets? And then. Yeah, then later Baby's like, it wasn't Johnny. I think it was Miss Schumacher. She had a ton of wallets. Like, and then the truth's revealed, and the old people were bad news. Right,
but I think Johnny still had to like take the fall for it.
I don't think he took the fall for that. I think they cleared his name about the stealing, so he's not at fault for that. They still fired him though because obviously he was with a guest.
Oh well, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's policy,
right?
No, you out.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So then the final epic last scene.
It's epic, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well, things are revealed. The dad finds out that Robbie.
Oh yeah. Okay. Robbie just puts his foot in his mouth like he did. He's the one who exposed himself.
He's just like,
oh, thank you for the situation with Penny. And the dad's like, what?
Oh, you mean that girl that had to get that abortion that had to like save her life because the abortion went wrong?
Yeah, because the guy who performed this procedure was crooked and used like old rusted tools and.
Well, because before he thought it was Johnny because he was like, "Who's responsible for this girl?" And Johnny, being the guy he is like, "I am." Like he's like, "I'm not going to let anyone take the fall." You know, or he's not gonna ruin someone's life.
Well, he said, "Who's responsible for her?" And Johnny takes responsibility over Penny. He's like, "Yeah, I'm responsible for her. I didn't do this to her.
Yeah, but he doesn't say that.
No, but yeah, because he's not going to do that.
Right.
So, yeah, so the truth revealed about how Johnny was not involved with Penny's situation, that Robbie was the one. So when Johnny returns, you know, he says his famous line, "Nobody puts baby in a corner," which now you know what that is.
Now I know that's from. Which honestly, I thought I thought it had something more to do with, like, I don't know, that like there was like something like she wasn't able to dance in something. And they put her in the corner.
Oh.
And that's that's what I assumed. And he just goes, "Nobody puts baby in the corner. Come on." Which is kind of like that.
She's literally just sitting.
It's literally she's sitting in a corner. It's not even a corner. It's just
more
like
of a pillar.
It's like a pillar that's stuck in the wall, and so there's a corner. And because the table's not in like the corner of the room, it's more like in the middle of the room, but on the side.
Patrick thought that was the stupidest line, and he was like,
I think most people would.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, that was so dumb. Why would I say that? Like, she's not even in the corner." But then it ended up being one of the most famous lines, and I think then we became grateful for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he swoops in, he gets her out there, he does this epic speech about, you know, who he is, who she is.
This is who I am. This is who she is.
This is who she's
and
made
we're gonna
me
show
to be.
you
I'm
through
a better.
dance.
I'm a better person because of her, and now we're gonna show you through dance.
Yeah,
because we worked hard.
They did. It's a little cheesy, but it was fine.
It was a celebration.
Yeah. It's like, how else are you gonna end
How else are you gonna end the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he does that cool jump off the stage, which he did like 1,000 times, poor guy.
And he had a bad knee.
Very bad knee.
Apparently Patrick Swayze hurt his knee in football. And so when he became an actor,
he didn't want to dance anymore.
No dancing. Like, because he had a bad knee.
Yeah.
And so that's why originally they passed on Patrick Swayze for the role, because they were like, "Oh, he's perfect. He'd be perfect for Johnny," but his resume said no dancing.
Yeah.
Well, then they find out he was a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want to do it because he don't want to mess up his knee any more than he has to.
Right.
So, and apparently he had to do that jump like a bunch of times.
It looked like a lot.
Yeah, and he was in pain.
Poor guy. But he pushed through, and you could tell how serious he would take his acting, because he's like, "Okay, one more. I got one more in me. This is it."
Yeah, this has to be it.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm gonna pass out.
I know.
But yeah, and then they do the lift.
Yeah, the epic Dirty Dancing lift, which has been recreated countless times.
Which I didn't even know that was from Dirty Dancing, honestly. I see people do that. Like, I saw that spoofed all the time. I'm like, "Oh, that's funny. Why does everyone do that?"
Why does everyone do the lift?
Yeah, I guess it's also from Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing made that lift what it is.
Yeah, because they did like a big build-up with the lift. He tries to teach her before their little dance number in the middle of the movie. She doesn't do it.
She
clams up.
She clams up. She's like, nope. And then just is like,
That was great. She turns around and just goes, "Hey,"
like,
with her thumbs.
Little thumb dance.
I was like, cool.
You're like, and he's like, "What? Yeah, okay, just keep going."
I was glad that he didn't, like, I like that part though, because like leading up to then like their little dance numbers, he always got frustrated with her. But even though she was kind of like little things here and there, but he wasn't getting mad at her.
Yeah.
He was just like, "It's okay. Like, keep going. Keep going. It's fine. It's
okay.
fine.
Keep going."
They did it. I think he was just happy that they got to do it and he can get paid and it's fine. And she helped him out.
They got through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Anything else, babe?
You know, I love this movie. I think it's definitely one of those you throw it on one night and you put on some popcorn and you have a good time.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly had a good time with it. I honestly would watch it again.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I think most movies we watched, or that I've watched from yours, I'd be like, "Oh, that was good." Well, was there any movie? I'd watch Mr. Fox again.
Yeah.
There's probably other ones too, but I would definitely watch this one again because it was a good time.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I think I liked it more than Ghost.
You asked me that last night. Like, do you like Ghost better or Dirty Dancing better? And I'm like, that's tough because they're very different movies, but I just have more fun with Dirty Dancing, so I think I do like it more.
Well, I just think Ghost is just so depressing. I mean, this stuff has sad stuff in it, but
yeah,
it's Dirty Dancing. Come on,
Dancing.
You can't get sad watching Dirty Dancing.
No.
You get something else when you watch Dirty Dancing.
What do you get?
You want to
dance.
You want to dance. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I yummed it, babe.
I'm glad.
I really liked it.
Oh, good. Well,
I'm just looking at my notes. I think we hit everything. The only other thing is great one-liners, but like, yeah, this movie has a lot of great one-liners. What are you going to do about it?
well, yeah.
Yeah, watch it and learn all the great one-liners.
Exactly.
I don't have to repeat them all. I'm just kidding. I'm going to record myself after this repeating them all. No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not doing that.
Well, what do we got coming up next week, babe?
You know, I'm kind of struggling between two movies. I think I know which one, though. I think I'm going to do a fun one for my next movie.
Okay.
And then I'll do a really serious one for the one after that.
Fair enough.
I think so. So I think the next episode was probably a movie not a lot of people have heard of. It's called Boy.
Boy.
It's just called Boy. It's by Taika Waititi. It's probably his lesser known movie, I'd say, because it's not as like, I say, pop culture, you know, as something like What We Do in the Shadows, which has sprung into like the TV show and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, Hunt for the Wilder People, which I think a lot of people I think some people probably know more about that movie. And then Jojo Rabbit, people know about Jojo Rabbit. But Boy is definitely a lot, it's still funny and quirky. It's a lot more serious. And Taika Waititi's in it. He plays. Well, no, we'll talk about next week.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's we'll do that one next. So if anyone wants to listen along as we talk about Boy, go watch Boy. It's Boy by Taika Waititi. Just because there's a lot of movies with the word boy in it, so I just like have to be specific about it. Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Don't Yuck My Yum.
Yeah.
Once again, if you want to listen to our other podcasts, if you want to catch up, we can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM, or wherever you get your podcast. Also, if you want to check out our social media, we've got Instagram. You can go give us a like or leave us a review on our Apple Podcasts, or you can send us an email at don'tyuckmyyumpod@gmail.com.
Yep. You nailed it.
Thanks.
Good job, babe.
Thank you.
Was there anything else we want to talk about? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
No.
All right.
No, that's it. That's the end.
I ran it here. All right. Thank you guys.
All right, guys. You guys have a good week, all right?
Bye.